Everybody, welcome back to Northernlion. Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We're going for win 15. I got two sleeping cats next to me. They're fluffy. They're enjoying the pets. I've woken them up. They're yawning. They're not going to leave me alone. It's all over. 0WMSPJ6X as Magdalene. Can I just say, thank you, game. 5 runs in a row without the keeper. I'm not trying to be, snarky. I'm being sincere. Don't get me wrong, and I do want this. And these are probably books, right? So this is probably, it's probably pretty good. I'm just trying to think of where we want to go here. Having Bookworm is worth something. But out of the remainder of these, which one's the best? I honestly think it might be Necronomicon. You don't really want to take 9 lives this early, but it is still better than not taking it. Because it's not like we can wait for a deal with the devil unless we get like a Joker card. What? My word. That's fantastic, dude. I'm stoked. I'm over the moon. I enjoy the difficult runs. I enjoy the runs where, you lay it all out on the line. Don't get me wrong. You know what I also enjoy? This nice little sort of more casual experience that we can get ourselves into when the runs are not, get hit once and you lose. And, it really means when you get into those get hit once and you lose sort of situations, they carry a lot more heft when you did it to yourself by playing very badly as Blue Baby. You know what I mean? Like happened recently. Okay, Larry Jr., please. You think if we shot on the corner, we could blow this up just by sneaking the shot through enough to hit the TNT? The real question is, why bother? To blow up 6 rocks. Probably not worth it. Just stay cool here. Stay cool. Bet you're like, NL, what kind of zany anecdotes you got going on? I gotta tell you, I know YouTubers don't like to admit this. I never understood, what I was gonna say first, before I lose the thread there, was, I've recorded like the last 4 or 5 Isaac episodes all on the same day. It's all Sunday, We got a division of labor right now. Sundays we specialize in Isaac, we get a little bit of Tetris going on at a later date on Monday. Tuesday we got the big stream, you get the idea, it sort of works like that. Did you know that there are travel, and I mean, I've never seen them, although I've seen, let me rephrase. The only time I've ever heard of this happening with, like, travel Instagrammers / influencers is when they end up being called out on a subreddit, and then it makes it to r/all, and I see it. But there are apparently travel / fashion influencers who, for the travel stuff, whenever, let's say they go to like Bali, when they go to Bali, they'll like take a photo, change outfit, take a photo, change outfit, take a photo, change outfit, and then they'll divvy out those photos one at a time over the course of the next, like even if they went to Bali in October, next March, they might pop one of those photos out and be like, hey, I'm in Bali right now, and the sun is so gorgeous, I've seen photos with edited clouds, etc., etc. I think everybody's seen those photos that are like, somebody takes a photo with like an ice cream cone or something like that, and then somebody that comes after them takes a photo of the ice cream cone being just thrown on the ground. I have a very weird relationship with influencers, because I am one. There was a tweet that went viral the other day that was like, it was a very popular streamer who I actually like a lot, tweeted like, don't call me not an Instagrammer, don't call me an influencer. I don't want to be defined by the relationship that I have with product. Instead I want to be defined by the service that I provide to my audience. That is fair. Just to be clear, I think that's a very fair take, even though my take, as is always the case, is like, who cares what they call you, brother, as long as they're still signing the checks. We do, you know, the streamers, less so than YouTubers, for sure. But, you know, YouTubers, most of the money they make, depends on the person, I'm sure, but comes from advertising. Are we advertisers? No. I would say no. I also don't know where we're at on this. Hold on. That might have been a spirit heart we just lost there. I consider myself a YouTuber. You know, there are ads that play in front of my videos. You know, I'm not saying that I'm on the same level as, like, you know, Vince Gilligan making Breaking Bad, but just for the purposes of you would? Thank you. That's very nice of you. You know, if you went up to Vince Gilligan and said, hey, Vince, where's your island, Vince Gilligan? You know, if you said, hey, Vince, you know, what's it like being an advertiser or an influencer for, you know, television media? He would probably be like, I'm not an advertiser, I'm a writer / director, right? That is how I see myself, but at the same time, I feel like influencer on YouTube, Twitch, etc., Mixer, whatever. I'm platform agnostic, I guess, in terms of fandom. I have no idea what my HP's like, but I do know that I have 9 lives, so let's do this. It feels fundamentally different than like an influencer on something like Instagram, right? I don't know why I don't have negative thoughts about Instagram, and that's me being sincere, to be honest. But when I think about, like, the most cynical I can get about influence is when is basically Instagram. I mean, it just kind of boggles my mind that somebody would go through the hoops to fake being traveling. I mean, I'm clearly talking about something I don't understand, because I don't comprehend how that even helps your image. The idea that you're constantly traveling, if that makes sense. Why do you what do you gain out? I guess you're always going interesting places, so more people are going to click on your stuff. Even okay, sure, okay. I can follow the rabbit trail, but I don't know. It just seems weird to me. I'm innately, and I've said this so many times, you probably want me to just shut up by now, but I'm innately suspicious of anybody that wants to be famous. When people want to be rich, I don't necessarily agree with them, but I get it, you know? Having more money makes your life easier. You know, it can raise your quality of life if you spend it properly. It can alleviate your anxiety. Fame, you know, just in and of itself is inherently worthless unless you can leverage it to get something else out of it, you know, influence or money itself. Like, I guess it's one of those, like, innate sort of, you know, driving human experiences I just can't relate to. When people are like, I want to be famous. Like, I want everybody on Earth to know who I am. I'm like, dude, that sounds horrible. I have no care at all if people know who I am, as long as, you know, I can still pay my bills, I guess. I know that sounds like it's like capital driven, but it's not really the case. It's like more of, I want to live like, you know, you have these Maslow's hierarchy of needs in your life, you know? Like, what's your #1 driving force as a human being? I've been thinking about that. I know it's kind of a heady topic for a YouTube video, but, you know, I've been thinking about, you know, what is it that, what's my #1, like, S-tier ideal at the top of my life that leads me to make the decisions that I make, you know? And I don't have a good answer for you, honestly. But I can throw a couple of things out, you know? Like, one of them is, I want to, let's just go with some basic ones. I want to have fun. I want to feel fulfilled. You know, I want to have a job that has meaning, and weirdly enough, like, this job does have meaning. You know, people message me very nice things on a regular basis. It's hard to feel like the job doesn't have meaning, even though I play it up sometimes as being a little bit more comic, which is also true. But it's a job that's fulfilling, for sure. But then, like, above that, you know, I want to live a life that is, like, you know, coherent with my own principles, you know? Being nice to the people around me and, you know, not putting any more, you know, evil into the world than is strictly necessary. You know, because sometimes, you know, when you do actions that are good to some people are evil for others. I'm not saying like, you know, oh, there's good people on both sides. All I'm saying is, you know, what you perceive as being good, somebody else might look at that and be like, hey, that was kind of a jerky thing to do. You know, these are the fundamental aspects of like a human being's personality, I think, that lead them to make decisions. And nowhere on mine is attention. Which I think that, you know, people are just very different in that sense. Like, if I was to rank it, where would, you know, I want people to pay attention to me rank? People paying attention to me specifically just for the attention is like a 0. I don't care if people ignore me all the time. Like in real life, and this is gonna sound braggadocious. You got to be very careful when you deploy this expression that I'm about to use, and the expression is people who don't know who I am. Who am I? Well, I'm like a nobody, but on the internet, in certain pockets, I carry a name recognition to at least like a Z tier extent. Like if I popped into a Discord with you know, fans of mine, and I was like, hey guys, I would expect a lot of messages. But sometimes, you know, if I'm like mingling at an event where I don't belong, to be quite frank with you, you know, I'll say something and people will be like, yeah, whatever, and they'll ignore me. And you know what? It's awesome. It rules, it owns, it doesn't bother me at all. I kind of like, in order for my job to be a job, I need attention. But I don't actively seek out attention for myself, which is why I don't actively seek out attention for attention's sake, is what I mean to say. Which I think is just a fundamental difference. So when I look at like streamers, I look at YouTubers, you know, you see all sorts, obviously. But for the most part, I feel like I see people that want to like create entertainment. And admittedly, it's probably biased, but when I look at, you know, I guess the worst parts of Instagram, that get most, like 99% of the attention, I see people that are like, you know, they clearly just want attention for attention's sake, and I don't understand it. But what do I know? You know? I guess if you didn't know anything about YouTube, and you only saw like the most attention-driven stuff on YouTube, you would probably feel the same way about YouTube, which is fair. It's not like YouTube is free from misleading stuff and clickbait. But this was all like, this was all an opportunity for me to say like, you know, I don't care if you know that I backlog all my videos on the same day. It doesn't bother me. This is interesting stuff to think about, though. I feel like I get mad at other influencers a lot because I've always been sort of a begrudging YouTuber, influencer, whatever you want to call it, right? There are people who, I mean, there have been like some high-profile streamers who have moved from Twitch to Mixer this week, and it always makes me roll my eyes. Not when they move, because, you know, they're getting a big canvas bag with a $sign printed on it, and all they have to do is change a button in their software to determine where the video ends up. At a certain price, for a lot of these guys, it's probably a no-brainer. But every streamer comes out of the woodwork every time this happens and is like, here's a bunch of pie charts I don't know how to interpret. What does this mean for the industry? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, you've taught me something about you. And it's not a character judgment. It's just something you can read about their personalities. Like, this is a person who wants to be taken very seriously. I take myself very seriously, but not in this business. In this business, I'm like, dude, shut up. Not really, but I'm like, you know, you don't need to worry about it that much. You don't. It's okay. I understand you play video games. You want, you know, other adults to take your job seriously. That's fine. It's a noble goal, I suppose. But at the same time, you know, I don't think you need to take it so seriously. But I do take myself very seriously in other aspects of life. And I'll give you an example. One of my friends today said, hey Ryan, have you ever heard of this thing called a walking taco? And I said, good sir. Because I'm friends with Henry Goodsir, who of course was the acting physician's assistant on the ill-fated voyage of the HMS the Terror, trying to find the Northwest Passage through Nunavut. I said, Dr. Henry, good sir, I have not heard of such a thing as the walking taco. And he said, here's what a walking taco is. It's an American... He thought his wife invented it, so he Googled it. It's a Midwestern American culinary invention that involves opening a bag of Doritos or Fritos, which are corn chip products, and then you fill the bag from that point onwards with other taco ingredients. Shredded lettuce. I don't know why now I can't get the expression shredded lettuce, but to the tune of the Seventh Heaven theme song out of my head. Shredded lettuce. Something man that's good. I've never seen Seventh Heaven for more than like 10 seconds. I don't want chaos. We're good. We're already gup. Just let it ride, baby. You know, tomato, salsa, sour cream, shredded cheddar cheese, etc. Shredded cheddar, etc., etc. You fill the bag with that stuff, and then using a plastic fork, you eat the walking taco, as it's called, ironically, based on what it would, you know, the effect it would have on your cardiovascular health. You eat it with a plastic fork. And I have to be honest, it actually sounds delicious, but I told him flat out, it sounds like it tastes good, but I take myself too seriously at this point in my life to eat that food. I do, and I don't think it's a good thing. But I hold, you know, certain elements of my personality to be static, and if I'm gonna be the man that I want to be, I'm not saying I wouldn't eat a walking taco if you put one in front of me. But I think I'm unlikely to go out to the store, purchase Doritos, and then make a taco. It's just something about, it's not even the potato chip aspect. It's about eating a food with a fork out of an aluminum-lined bag. Something about it just seems very strange. I think I take myself too seriously at this point. I would worry that all of my friends would mock me. Instead, the opposite will be true. All of my friends will mock me for not consuming the walking taco, because they'll be like, why so serious? And I'll be like, I know, dude. I don't know. Would I eat I mean, I would eat a walking taco. I will say, at the risk of being that guy, what's the problem with a regular taco? You know? You can still eat a regular taco whilst walking. Alternatively, you don't have to eat the taco while walking. You could just, I mean, how many bites does it take you to consume one taco? I'm being sincere with you. I think a taco is like a 3 to 4 bite food. I don't particularly eat, you know, big mouthfuls or anything like that. I just think that, you know, I've never desired a more portable food. Or a more portable version of the taco, you know what I mean? Like, a taco is already a food product that comes in its own case. It's like a banana. It's like you made that banana protector that I still don't understand the existence or purpose of. The banana already comes with the protector. It's called the banana peel. Feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. Can we talk about that line? You know, and as we get close to the end of the episode here, I'm spinning my wheels a little. When Will Ferrell as Mugatu in the film Zoolander says, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here, what is he trying to say? I think if you don't think about it, the line sounds like it makes sense. If you think about it, it falls apart. Is he talking about pills that you would take if you were, I'm not using the word, he used the word, crazy? You know, pills like an antipsychotic or something like that? Why would him seeing the president of Micronesia make him think that he was taking an antipsychotic pill? Wouldn't you expect to see normal things in that situation? So the only other expectation or assumption that I can operate on is that he was taking pills that make you crazy. Those pills are not called crazy pills. Okay? It's called Ambien. There's a whole subreddit about Ambien and the purchases made on it. Ever tell you guys about my very limited Ambien experience? I was going, it was the first time I went to Japan, you know, before we left, I talked to our family doctor because we just happened to have an appointment. And she was like, you know, anything else? And I was like, yeah, we're going to, you know, Japan. It's a long flight, and I'm worried about jet lag. I can't really sleep on airplanes. Any chance I could get, like, a sleeping pill? And she was like, yeah. We just had, like, an Ambien dude come in, and he gave us, like, staggering amounts of free samples. So I'll just give you a bunch of those. So I'm not even messing with you. Or she gave me, like, it's a coupon that I took to the pharmacy. And it was like, give this guy 12 sleeping pills. After I got the Ambien, I read all this stuff online about how, like, hey, so if you take Ambien and you don't fall asleep within half an hour, you go insane and have no memory of it whatsoever. Which sounds horrible. Nothing about that sounds enjoyable in the least. So that freaked me out so much. I never ended up actually taking the Ambien on a flight because I was worried that, you know, if something bad happened, you know, if I had a bad reaction to the medication, I'd be 35,000 feet in the air, and I'd be a news story that contributed to people, you know, in Japan having a lesser opinion of Canadian citizens as a result of my Ambien-addled behavior. But I did take all 12 of those Ambien. Every time, for the next, like, 2 years, anytime I couldn't get to sleep, you know, I've been tossing and turning in bed for, like, a couple of hours, I would take half of an Ambien, and within 10 minutes, I was out like a freaking light every time. So, in that sense, I can't in good conscience say anything bad about the product, but I will say the stories about it scared the crap out of me to the extent where I decided to only take it in a safe place. And then I never got any more. Just because, you know, at that point, Big Pharma wins. I got the first 12 for free. You gotta wean yourself off at that point. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!